This video is brought to you by Patreon. By signing up on the Phat Pack Magic Patreon, you get early access to all content, as well as grab bags of valuable cards and amazing mats exclusive to patrons. You can help keep coverage for Paper Magic alive by showing your support on the Phat Pack Magic Patreon today. Hello guys, and welcome back to Phat Pack Magic. We're here at Darkside Games, where just under 40 players have attended this event, and both Rob Pisano and Chris Paxton are the only players that have gone undefeated. And these guys are playing for the big money. It's $100 of store credit to first place. Second is still going to get something, but it's $100 to first. And it looks like Chris Paxton is going to be on the play as he crashes in at Rob, bringing him down to 19 and passing the turn. Rob plays his swamp and gives him the pass signal. Chris draws. And going through his hand, crashing in at Rob, bringing him down to... No, a fatal push is going to send the Monastery Swiftspear to the yard, meaning that Chris is going to have to wait a turn before that light up the stage becomes live. But he's got a Soul Scar Mage, and that's okay too. And it looks like Rob Pisano is deciding on whether or not he wants to make a play as well. He's got a Scrap Heap Scrounger, but he's got that Knight of the Ebon Legion queued to the front. And that's going to be the play. Here comes Knight of the Ebon Legion and passing the turn back to Chris. Chris draws, and no third land, but a Searing Blood is going to deal 2 damage to that Knight of the Ebon Legion as Rob takes a look at that card. And it's an old card from Born of the Gods. And it's not super popular anymore, but it's going to deal 2 damage to that Knight, and if it dies, Rob is going to take 3. So it's kind of like a shock and a lava spike. However, Rob is going to deal a fatal push to that Soul Scar Mage before Chris passes the turn back. And Rob has a Scrap Heap Scrounger and a Blood-Soaked Champion, 5 power on the board, and might finally be able to go on the offensive. However, Chris has the perfect answer to that Scrap Heap Scrounger. It's a Lava Coil, sending it not to the graveyard, but to exile, and passing the turn back to Rob. Rob is able to get in there for 2 damage, finally bringing Chris down to 18, and playing another Scrap Heap Scrounger before passing the turn back. Chris has a Goblin Chain Whirler, killing off that Blood-Soaked Champion and passing the turn back to Rob. But Rob has got his 4th land drop, and now it's Rankle time. Rankle crashing in, and he's going to deal 3 damage to Chris, but the important abilities are the sack, each player sacks a creature, and each person discards a card. And Chris, he's got a follow-up. It's a Lightning Strike and a Soul Scar Mage, killing off the Rankle, and he's got 1 card in hand, while Rob is living off the top of his library. Now, Rob's got those Scrap Heap Scroungers, and they got a lot of fuel to come back in as Chris starts his turn, taking in a swing at Rob, dealing 1 damage, bringing him down to 14, but that's enough to light up the stage. And Light Up finds Torben, Thane of the Red Fell, a really interesting card from Thrones of Eldraine, which is going to act as a double anthem with all of Chris's creatures and spells and abilities. But at end of turn, Rob is going to bring back 2 Scrap Heap Scroungers, and they're going to swing in, dealing 6 damage to Chris. Chris goes down to 9. Rob, deciding on whether or not he wants to recur that Blood-Soaked Champion. He's got a Gutter Bones in hand, and looks like that's going to be his play. I mean, you could bring back the Blood-Soaked Champion as well and really get the offense going. And that looks like what he's considering, because that Torben is going to deal a lot of damage, effectively antheming his Chris's board. So Rob plays a Gutter Bones, passes the turn back. Chris draws for turn. He's got a land. He casts Torben, and he casts a Monastery Swiftspear, crashing in for 6 damage at Rob, who's going to use the Castle Lockthwain to draw a card. And he's up against one heck of a board. None of his creatures can block except for the Gutter Bones, but he's found a Grasp of Darkness to kill off Torben, and well, he's still got the Gutter Bones in hand. But it looks like he's going to crash in for another 6 damage. Those Scrap Heap Scroungers don't do anything on defense, and it brings Chris down to 3, and he plays out another Gutter Bones. his first Gutterbones on blocking duty just in case. Because, I mean, Gutterbones can block, who knew? Chris plays Light Up the Stage, flipping over the top 2 cards. He needs a lot of spells to be able to get through. Wild Slash, and it's going to deal 2 damage to the Gutterbones, but he doesn't have another spell to get in there with lethal using those prowess triggers. The prowess triggers they're 3 and 3. I mean, they're 3/4s, but Rob's at 7 life. He says, you know, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to play the land and pass the turn. Rob, with a bunch of dudes in play, draws her turn, and kills off the Soulscar Mage, and that means that Chris only has 1 blocker, and that is going to be a game 1 to go to Rob Pisano, and wow, what a haymaker, just back and forth. Corbin would have really taken the game if he hadn't died, but Mono Black has a lot of removal, and Chris is going to have to take that into account when he starts his sideboard. But stay tuned, because we got the next game here in just a second. Alright, here we go. It's game 2. Chris needs this win to stay in and then try and go for a game 3 and win that one as well. And both players are going to be drawing out their opening hands. Chris is going to be on the play, and looks like he's got an explosive start, but only on 1 land. But that's okay. Mono red, you know, it's fine. And he starts off with that Swift Spear, dealing 1 to Rob and bringing him down to 19. Rob's got the follow-up. It's a Blood-Soaked Champion, a 2/1. And it looks like Chris is stuck on lands, not getting that second land drop he needed. He plays a mountain and passes the turn. Rob crashes in for 2. Chris takes it, goes down to 18. And now Rob, smelling blood in the water, he can get really aggressive if he wants to. And it looks like he's going to play a Mutavault, and then a Scrap Heap Scrounger is going to come in, and passing the turn back to Chris. But all Chris needs is, there's a mountain, and he's got a Glory Bringer in hand as well. So here's a Soulscar Mage, and he's going to he's going to Wild Slash? He Wild Slashes, and this is going to trigger Prowess on 2 of his creatures, crashes in for 4, bringing Rob down to 15 and leaving him without a Scrap Heap Scrounger on board. But Rob's got a Mutavault online, and here's an Urborg to make it tap for black. And it looks like a Knight of the Even Legion is coming down, and he's got that Grasp of Darkness lined up as well. Now he can crash in for 2 and send it in. Chris takes it. He's not going to bait out the Soulscar Mage, going down to 16. But now 1 spell is 3 power worth of a game off of Prowess. And now deciding on whether or not he wants to swing in. Turning sideways, not turning sideways, maybe first. Nope, here's a Lightning Strike at the Knight of the Even Legion. And all 3 Prowess triggers coming in 6 damage. And a Grasp of Darkness is going to eat up 1 of the Soulscar Mages, giving it -4/-4. Rob takes 4 damage, goes down to 11. And he's only got a Blood-Soaked Champion, but that's okay. His game plan is to burn Chris out of card advantage. And here comes 5 damage at Chris's face with a Rankle. Damage. Each player sacrifices a creature and discards a card. Chris discarding that Glory Bringer because it's not going to do much. And both life totals are equalized, but Rob's got a Rankle, and Chris has a Lonesome. Now, not so lonesome. It's a Goblin Chainwhirler coming down, dealing 1 to Rob, swinging in for 1 at Rob, and the Goblin Chainwhirler is going to give Rankle a -1/-1 counter. Fatal Push is going to knock that Soulscar Mage out of the way, and looks like Rob is going to animate the Mutavault, which is going to be blocked by the Goblin Chainwhirler. Chris is still going to take 2 damage, go down to 9, but the question is, wow. So, discard a card and sacrifice a creature, but a Searing Blood is going to kill off that Rankle, bringing Rob down to 6 as Chris passes the turn back. Looks like Rob is going to eat up a Knight of the Even Legion to bring a Scrap Heap Scrounger back as he crashes in for 3 damage, bringing Chris down to 6. And now here's a Murderous Rider just in play as a 2/3 lifelinker, which might alter the course of the board. Gaining 2 life is pretty important. Here's Rob activating the Mutant Vault, and a Lightning Strike is going to kill off that Murderous Rider, and Chris is going to take 5 damage, going down to 1. Chris draws. It's a Bowmat Courier. Rob takes it, goes down to 5. Then sacks the Bowmat Courier. Here's a Light Up the Stage. Plays it. Lightning Strike, and another Light Up the Stage. And that is game 2 win for Rob. A match win. Rob is going to take home $100 of store credit. And Chris is still going to take home a good chunk. It's about $60 worth of store credit for Chris for second place. But that's going to be it for us this time on Phat Pack Magic. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that notification bell, hit subscribe, and hit that like button. Not just for me, but for my players too. And if you like this kind of stuff and you want to see behind the scenes footage, check us out on Instagram. And if you like this content and you want to support us, come check us out at Patreon. We've got gift bags for cards, we've got exclusive playmats, and once we reach the $500 mark, I'll be able to invest in Twitch streaming. I'm not talking about like MTGA streaming from my studio. I'm talking about big Pioneer 1K events with huge turnout. We're talking huge events, Friday Night Magic, and even showcasing some competitive Commander events. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and may all your packs be fat.